Today's event's really important for us here in the School of Sustainability because one of my goals is to make sure that sustainability doesn't become a discovery major. In other words, something that students don't recognize as a career path or an academic path until they get to college or to university. So I want to see K-12 organizations engaged in sustainability education so that when students do decide to go on to higher education, that they already understand that this is a pathway for them.
For the past year and a half, we've been spending a lot of time working with our team members on helping them become more aware around sustainability and informed choices that they can make to make an impact today for a sustainable tomorrow. And as we begin to learn more from our team members, we recognize that we as team members are a part of our community. And so as an extension of that, our suppliers, our communities, our customers, just people in general, we're all humans. And so we thought it would be a great opportunity to see how we could inform and be a part of the solution in our schools to help educate our pipeline of tomorrow.
Well, one of the things that we've been able to accomplish at the higher education level is a network of universities and colleges that are dedicated to sustainability education and what we call sustainability core competencies.
One of the things that we've been able to do from a team member volunteerism aspect is work with the students, and we had an organization that came in and helped us work with the students to create solar suitcases that, if you think about it from a local and global standpoint, we were able to do that and then ship those solar suitcases to Kenya and bring light to those that had no electricity in their schools. And so there are little small steps like that where they're able to utilize and learn about STEM at the same time, make a difference globally and bringing electricity to those who may not otherwise ever had it. It's 1 billion people, over 1 billion people today that have no access to electricity. So I think that they can also be a part of the solution to what we're trying to accomplish.
I would say that it starts with sharing. And in my experience in this field, there is a great culture of sharing because we recognize that if we all keep things to ourselves, we're never going to get to where we need to be. So that spirit of collaboration and sharing, I think, is absolutely fundamental. So there's a number of organizations, not just here in the United States and around the world, that are dedicated to that notion that the very best learning needs to be freely shared. And so we have tools, whether it's online lesson plans, whether it's the virtual field trips, whether it's service learning or project-based learning techniques that we know work well, that can be translated to other languages, other cultural experiences. That spirit, I think, is really strong and I think, again, fundamental for the success that we're looking for.
Students as a whole are spending most of their days and most of their, in a classroom. And I think we as educators need to sort of create the sort of provocative questions that say, what is it that you're passionate about? And I think sometimes when you're a kid, you don't really know. And we're lucky that we live in a time and place where you can investigate everything.
I'm a UNESCO chair at York University in Toronto, Canada. My particular area of work is on reorienting education systems to address sustainability or towards a more sustainable future. UNESCO is the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, and they've been requested by the overall United Nations to lead the field of how can we use the world's education systems, the world's public awareness and training systems to try and create a more sustainable future. It is a huge task. There are roughly 80 million teachers in the world, about 60 million short of what we really need. But how do you bring about change? The goal that I'm working on is to have a sustainable future recognized as a core purpose of education.
I don't think people understand the power of youth leadership now, and 20 years from now, of course, but right now, they are the secret sauce to making this change. They are the trim tab, if you will. We need their wisdom, their energy, their creativity, their hopefulness right now. I honestly believe that with teachers and students working together, we can flip this. The benchmarks for Education for Sustainability, which was actually something we curated and edited, but is the work of 42 authors around the world who came together and said, this is what Education for Sustainability is. So that's been a game changer for especially school administrators and folks who need to be able to be discerning about knowing whether they are or they are not educating for sustainability.
My passion for education is that it works. It's amazing. It changes people's lives, and it holds hope for people because it gives people the tools and the opportunity to create change. You can come into a situation, take part in an educational experience, whether it's project-based learning or an experiential workshop or whatever, and you can come out thinking, wow, I learned something new, I'm changing the way I'm thinking, I can actually make a difference. Our young people are the ones that are going to be tackling the issues that the older generation didn't get to, couldn't do, didn't have the power to change. They can do it. And environmental education helps give people the tools, the training, the understanding, the values, the motivation to actually become involved in civic life and create that change.
I think through sustainability education, we can, at the earliest stage of someone's life, as they step into kindergarten, which doesn't mean it's not possible to affect change even later in life, but earlier is better. We can help facilitate and infuse and embed in people inherent understanding of what these choices make and how technology can actually play a really important positive role in facilitating a lowered level of impact to the environment, where we're really aligned and complementing all of the natural resources that the planet gives us. It's not a one-time effort. Continuing to make science, the most current science, accessible to decision makers at all levels of government and across sectors, and that includes schools, is pivotal to determining, I believe, what the future of the planet will be, how we address some of the more urgent environmental challenges, and also how we design for what's possible. It is very much the priority of the community that I work with currently. Scientists are so eager, and they understand that there's a lot of room to accelerate having science more accessible and more effectively and regularly made available to other sectors that can benefit tremendously from this knowledge.
It's important that we help students to discover what makes them passionate so that we can also give them the tools to create a difference. And that's important because they're going to be leading the future. They're going to be our future leaders, our future CEOs and academics, and we want to make sure that they understand the world that we live in as well as possible. So I feel like it's our responsibility to give them and help to provide that information to them. So our goal is to have them deeply understand what sustainability science is, what sustainability knowledge is, and what sustainability looks like in practice, so that they can infuse it not only in their own curriculum, but in their own life. So in a way, it's giving them the tools and the knowledge to be able to incorporate it where they see fit, because they are the experts of their own classroom. They know their students, they know their curriculum. So what we're trying to do is just provide this new lens with which to see the world through sustainability. So one of the things that I'm really looking forward to is kind of building relationships, long-term relationships with teachers and district administrators and community members in order to be able to further the vision of sustainability for communities.
The technology, the local political environment, the funding streams, and of course the legislation at the broadest level to support policies that encourage sustainable practices. And I think it all starts in the classroom, and outside the classroom, but in school, because that's the one place where all 55 million American students live for 6 hours a day. My dream is that environmental literacy brings forward the critical thinking skills, the problem-solving skills that our students can work in partnership with themselves, with the communities, with the corporate world to generate the solutions that we need for humans to thrive in an environment where all the other species thrive as well. And it's possible, 100% possible.